Well, you know, this light, right? I don't know what's with this light here, but I'm gonna do this segment anyway. My hair exploded today. I don't know what happened. Oh, it must have been the earthquake. We had an earthquake today. I didn't even feel it. Where was I at 10 o'clock? At 10 o'clock, I was actually right woodshedding. So maybe you're right, I couldn't have felt it right because I was playing drums at the time, which could create an earthquake right normally. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and sorry about my hair, I don't know, it's kind of it exploded. But anyway, hey, listen, as long as my brain didn't explode, we're in good business here. All right, listen, here's what I'm going to talk about. This is a really, really cool topic. Now, first off, right, you guys probably know by watching a lot of my new YouTube videos and films and performance segments that I'm producing that I'm now playing exclusively on electronic drums. But what happened, right, was as a result, unfortunately, of not, and I talked about this, right, on one of my other segments in reference to protecting your ears. I didn't protect my ears, you know, for many, many years, playing in a lot of loud situations that developed some hearing loss problems. So, as a result of that, I strictly switched over to playing on electronic drums because, well, they're not quite as loud, you know, you can kind of control the amplification of them, and wow, right, this was like a big thing today. They said it was a 4.8. I didn't feel anything. Well, anyway, what did I want to say? Okay, so I'm playing on a lot of electronic drum kits. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about, right, is to explore that possibility has created some really interesting new creative compositional aspects of my playing as a result of playing on different electronic kits. What it has to do with, now I'm playing around on a lot of different kits, and if you guys look on this very channel, you'll hear some samples of me playing on the Roland. That's right over at Sam Ash. I'm also experimenting, though I'm not filming those, some various experimentations on the Simmons. There are a couple of different versions of the Simmons. I won't go into the details of the model numbers, but the way that electronic drums are set up is there are various drum sets. Each, like most of the average electronic drum sets have anywhere between 50 and maybe 100 different drum sets. And then what you can do is you can construct different ones, but I haven't gotten too much into that. I did that on my own Rolands, the ones that I have at home. But I haven't set those up yet to film, because as you guys know, I recently relocated, and my apartment, it's a little bit smaller, so I have to figure out where I'm going to put what in order to film. But I'll figure that out as the months progress. But let me talk to you about what happened as a result of playing the different electronic kits. I noticed that each kit had a different type of personality. And so, you know, you had there were different triggers. You had, wow, this thing looks like it was really big news over here. Wow, 4.8 on the Richter scale. That's unbelievable. But anyway, let me get back. I hope we don't have an earthquake now. I would hate for the roof in this gym to come down on me. It's made out of steel. It wouldn't be a very good situation. Bad way to end the day. But, so as a result of playing on the electronic kit, there are different sounds. And I noticed that each time I changed the drum set around, you know, from say, there was like a big 80s kit to a cocktail kit to a nails kit to a thrash metal kit. Some of the kits had, some of the Simmons sounds had human sounds, all right, like woo, and yeah, and, whoop, whoop, different, almost like, those sounds, right, that the DJs can produce, whoop, whoop, when they used to spin the records. So as a result of that, I'm playing different grooves, all right, stuff, all right, that I normally play. But the thing that I notice, all right, is each time I change the drum set around, from one set to another, not all of the sets are right I like. So that's the first thing. So I kind of like, when I went through on the Simmons kit, for example, I went through all the different kits, and probably maybe out of 50 of the ones that were there, probably found like maybe 25 or 30 that I really liked. Because not every kit had sounds in it that I really liked. It just has to do with the way, the sound of them. I like a little bit of an echoey sound. I like kind of a fat sound. And I also like the cymbals to have kind of like more of a garbage can kind of sound. I like those thrashy sort of sound effects of the cymbals. And so once I found the 30 or so drum kits that I liked, that's when the fun began, because I kind of got to know each kit and then decided what I was going to do. But here's the bottom line. As a result of changing the sound of the kit, I'm playing differently. It's almost like the sound of the kit warrants the creative things that I do. So what I'm recommending to you guys is play around on different electronic kits. Actually get one, as well as if you're playing acoustics, because there may come a time where you may want to have electronic drums. Well, first off, if you have, I play on Roland, so that's one. Eventually, I want to try to get a relationship with the company, but they haven't come to me yet. I'm waiting. My hair will turn white, all right. I'll wait that long until they come to me, but that's cool. That's the brand that I really wanted to endorse. But hey, Roland, if you're out there, give me a call. Harry Roland. I don't know who runs the company, but I got to tell you, the reason why I prefer the Rolands, is the mesh heads are the best in feel, and you can do rim shots. You can clamp the cymbals. You can't do that on some of the Simmons. And then also too, the rim shots, they sound like real rim shots. But anyway, so what I'm suggesting to you guys is get yourself a good electronic drum kit, and then as you're doing that, experiment to use the kit to kind of warrant the type of creativity that you will create. I'll give you an example. I created a couple of grooves. They were sort of Mozambique-ish type things. With 5-stroke applications. You guys can hear different versions of what I'm talking about on this very channel. I didn't film, I just did sound, because at that time the lighting was really bad where I was, and I preferred not to be on film. I just preferred to play. So I did sound segments. But you guys could hear the different kind of things that come out of me as a result of changing the sounds. And I used the different drum set sounds. So you can kind of hear that. So what I'm recommending is you guys get an electronic kit, one that you feel comfortable with. Everybody has a particularly different taste. And then see what it does to your creativity. I'm kind of when I solo or when I groove, I'm almost composing. I kind of create different visions, different pictures, different colors. I like color. So, the more, as the sounds change, the colors change. And as the colors change, the type of things that I do change. For example, the very big 80s kit, it sounds like it's thunderous. The toms are a boom, really big sound. I kind of play more of a heavier kind of feel, more in the style of Bonnet. On, say, the hip-hop kit, or the Simmons, the SD, kind of they sound almost like doom, doom, those sort of sounds. I play more in a funk, big beat type of a thing. There's an African kit. This was really wild. That was on the Simmons, and it had a sequencer to it. So I played kind of in the Latin American African style, using Mozambique and bongo type ideas, and I have a lot of stuff rattling around in my brain, so I'm always thinking of different rhythms and playing them. Sometimes I'm not so consistent, but that's the idea. The other advantage that I really want to definitely promote to getting a really good quality electronic set, and by the way, the good ones aren't cheap. You don't want to buy the lesser quality ones, because the lesser quality ones are not going to sound good in the recording studio. They're not going to, they're just not going to feel right. And also too, the cymbal responses are a lot better on the more expensive ones. The cheaper you get, the less response you get on the cymbals. For example, one of the Simmons models that I play on, the hi-hat is really not good. You're not able to do a lot of the things. And you guys know I'm like what they call a hi-hat barker. You can't bark on some of those hi-hats. I mean, you could try to bark but it doesn't come out. And some of the really low-quality ones, as you guys know, like the Donner, those things misfire. So I have a lot of trouble with those things. I'm still doing some segments on that, but you could see me kind of under my breath saying, what the heck, So, and then the one other last advantage, if you get electronic drums and you find yourself getting really creative and stuff and having a good time, they're a really great thing to have if you live in an apartment, or if you have other family members that you happen to be living with that don't want to hear acoustic drums. I mean, acoustic drums acoustic drums cause me to lose half of my hearing. What'd you say? It's a real drag. I'm this close to a hearing aid. I'm not going to mention some people, but one of my cousins has a hearing aid already. My dad says he doesn't want to wear it. I don't want to put a hearing aid in my ear, Hey, listen, if somebody has something to say to me, let them say it loud enough so I can hear it. Or let them email me, if they got a beef, The heck with them. But anyway, back to that. And then the other thing, too, about the electronic drums is, you can play them, late at night, and they're really not that loud. Well, it depends on where you live, but I wouldn't attempt to play. I don't play my pads or electronic drums after 10 o'clock at night, but in an apartment setting, it really, really comes in handy. So, I would recommend that. And that would enable you to play other ideas. So then you'll have electronic drums, and then you'll have your acoustic drums. So anyway, I think that's a pretty good commentary for me. And where you can explore these different kits is over at the various different music stores. They've got some really good things over at the Guitar Center. Sam Ash is unbelievable. Probably Sam Ash has the biggest array of electronic drums of all the chains. The Guitar Center is good, but they don't focus on the Roland product. Not that they have no Roland products at all. They strictly have the Simmons. There's a new brand out, which I am having a riot with. I just filmed a sequence on, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube. Maybe today I'll put it up on this Yamaha kit. Wow, I didn't even know Yamaha made a kit. That thing feels fantastic. Yamaha is probably as close to the Roland as you can get. And there are some sounds in there that are so cool. So I had a lot of fun with it. There's this echo delay where you have when you hit the drum it goes da 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 ba 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 ba. But the thing is the echo, which each stroke hits, is in rhythm. So Carbon did something like that on one of his earlier records, where he soloed off of the echo. It was like da 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 da. So you're playing, the echo generates a tempo, and then you can play up against that tempo. It's almost about like playing with a loop, but you create it by the tempo rep that you create. For example, I went like da 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 da, and then it goes da 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 da, da 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 da, da da da, and then it continues on. And as that's going, I groove on that and play to that, and that's really, really it. Finally, there's another sound of the Simmons. It's like these guitar parts. One part goes down, down, and the other one is da-da-da, and the other one is da-da. And so I play the guitar parts by hitting the right. Well, one guitar part is on one rim, another guitar part is on the cymbal. There's a sound effect right on the lower rim. You know, once you get to know right where the sounds are, then right, you can almost create different writing visualizations in rhythm. And since that's the kind of drummer that I am, I'm more of like a composing drummer. I'm having a gas, you know. The only thing that I wish, and this is just my commentary on things, is that every drum company that puts out a different electronic drum has, in other words, you can't use the Simmons brain on the Roland kit. You can't use the Roland brain on a Simmons kit. You can't use the Roland pads with the brain of a Yamaha. They're not compatible, which is kind of a drag. It's too bad, right, that those companies don't make them more compatible. So that this way, like if it was that way, I would probably buy, you know, a Yamaha brain, hook it up to my Roland, a Simmons brain, switch that. Well, of course, the Roland brain that I have. They have some new Roland brains that are really expensive. Some of those sounds are unbelievable. I think the Roland, the TD27, wow, that has like a timpani thing in it, a timpani sound. And you know, I was doing a couple of sequences on that timpani, and I felt like Carl Palmer. I felt like John Bonham. I don't know if you guys remember Bonham's work when he actually soloed on the timpani, but Carl was a guy that used a lot of timpani, and Billy Cobham overdubbed a couple of timpanis. I used timpani one time on a recording with Andy White many years ago on his album. I don't know whatever happened to Andy, but I think I might have the recording somewhere. I did this big giant roll on a timpani. I remember Bernie Lawrence, who was producing Andy White at the time. He rented everything I wanted. So he rented me a set of chimes, a timpani, a xylophone, a marimba. Great, I really had a good time doing all that stuff. Wonder whatever happened to Andy White. Never heard from him again. The guy disappeared. But if you're out there, Andy, I hope you're doing well. I had a great time playing in your band. So in any event, get electronic drums and have some fun. You know, go down and to Sam Ash. Try out some of those things, or you'll find those to be really fun. And you know, you have fun with them. You know, sometimes I'm kind of just clowning around, and people come over and go, "Wow, that's really fun," you know, because it's a fun kind of thing. And more significantly, it has transformed some of my creativity to a different level. So I hope that helps. You guys are I hope you found this little segment useful. And I'm getting ready to take a break, so this is a perfect time to tell you guys over and out. And as Captain Kirk once said, beam me up, Scotty. Push the button.